everyone has clothes on. Everybody got to eat. On the other side of that experience, there's an actual person
who can create something that makes people feel a certain way the most.
And leverage this, for the greater narrative of the city. We're so much more than the racing capital of the world.
Do you remember that moment where art made the biggest impact in your life? From South Bend to Evansville and everywhere in between, this is Get In, the show focused on the Hoosier State and the incredible stories happening here today. I'm Nate Spengel, founder of Get Indiana, and I will be your host for today's conversation. Before we get into the show, I need to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by my friends at NCW. You might remember when I had Dan Mattingly on the show talking about how they built a national staffing and recruiting company over the past 25 years, specializing in skilled trades. They are looking for new members to join their team. If you're looking for work in recruiting, sales, or general business operations, you need to check out teamncw.com. Not only have they been voted a top workplace by Indy Star, listed on the IBJ Fast 25, and featured on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest private growing companies in America, but I also have a personal laundry list of friends that work at NCW and absolutely love it. To learn more and check out their open roles, check out teamncw.com and tell them you heard about it on Get In during your interview. Today, my guest is Alan Bacon Jr. Yeah, the co-founder and president of GANGGANG, where he champions equitable opportunities for artists and creative entrepreneurs all across Indiana, but across the country.
Yeah, right on. Yeah.
He is the co-founder of Butter Fine Art Fair and played a vital role in the NBA All-Star Weekend of 2024, curating. You were on the arts committee?
Art and culture.
The art and culture committee, yeah. He's also the co-founder of I Made Rock and Roll. It's a festival here with our friends at 45. His work has been featured in People Magazine and Essence. And recently, this is like in the past couple months, I believe, you were recognized among Indiana's top 250 most influential business leaders. And he just told me one of the 400 most influential creators across the country.
Well, yeah, now I feel like I was gloating in that moment. But
yeah. I mean, sometimes you just, hey, you can't brag about yourself. Who's going to brag about you? Come on. It was man, I am honored to have you here in studio. I've heard so much about the work that you've done.
Right on.
This is iteration 5 of Butter, the Fine Art Fair. Yeah. And I'm excited to talk a little bit about, obviously, how we can attend the fair, get involved in all that, but also what the work you're doing, the impact that it plays on Indianapolis, on Indiana as a whole, and why the work you're doing is super important. So, Alan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Dude, I'm excited. So, first thing we're gonna cover is Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
Butter Fine Art Fair. Yeah. What are the things that people need to know about? Let's kind of get out there of what's coming up. What can we expect?
Well, Butter Fine Art Fair is just this holistic experience of everything art and culture. So it's really just the density and the focus is the art, the visual art. But I mean, there's food, there's music. I mean, it's going to be a festival atmosphere. I guess what makes it different is 100% of the proceeds and the sales go back to the artist. So there's that why component to why Butter exists and some of the impacts that we're able to have within the art fair itself. But it's grown.
Is that non-traditional for art fairs?
It's non-traditional. That's non-traditional for art fairs, for just art practices and just the sector. Fairs and galleries taking up to 40, 50, 60% from sales from art. So this model just allows us to test what would equity look like? What would it look like where we really challenge that dichotomy between value and worth for artists, and it's been working. Yeah. So so year one, 2021, we thought we would get around 1,000 people to come out, but we had this notion of really supporting and just really highlighting, amplifying just local artists, and got over 3,000 people that first year, and we sold over $65,000 worth of art in that weekend. So, and that 4 years later, it's about 12,000 attendees every year, and we're close to going over $1 million that have went back to artists' hands of households.
No way. How many artists do you call exhibit? Is that what you'd say? Yeah. What would you say? What's the word?
There's a different How many artists are featured in Butter? So we have around 40 to 60 exhibiting artists each year. So I mean, just a mean average. Like this year, it would be 50 artists
50?
in Butterfly. Yeah.
And it's like you're right around $1 million. Like that's significant impact for these artists.
Right on. Yeah.
Holy
yeah.
smokes.
Yeah.
Almost $1 million across 50 artists, and 100% of the proceeds go back to them.
Well, like 50 each year. So we've had 50. 5 different iterations of what a Butter artist roster would look like for each Butter, and we change curatorial teams, so it's a different show every year. But yeah, I mean, to your point, it's a density where there's a large focus.
And this started here in Indianapolis.
That's correct,
right? But now it's kind of gotten some traction across the nation. Like, did you think last year you did another activation in Los Angeles?
Butter spreads. We've been fortunate enough to be in a position to really see just the paradigm so successful here in Indianapolis, where there's interest in other markets, and just it's cool to see the mission of Butter to spread, and just like what we're trying to center, what we're trying to accomplish. And yes, Los Angeles has been a very welcoming city. We've been able to touch down there, and there's just a large interest for what Butter can do in other markets. So just really fortunate to have this opportunity to spread Butter.
So to spread, that's awesome. How will it be in 2 locations this year?
This year, what we had planned, we had a pop-up exhibition in connection with Context Projects in LA earlier this month. We'll be in Chicago later this month, and then Art Basel in December. So that's
cool.
our out of market plans for the year, and it feels good. Yeah,
I've spent some time down like in Wynwood and like that area down in Miami.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like Art Basel is like the thing.
Art Basel and just experiencing shows. I mean, we took a lot of those experiences and thinking how we wanted Butter to present itself. Like here in this market. So it kind of feels like Art Basel, but in the Midwest.
Well, let's talk about that. Like take us back to 2021 2021. What was the ethos and the impetus to like put this first iteration of Butter together back then?
In 2020, just the foundation of GANGGANG. If 2020 was about what separates people, we knew that art and culture would be the thing to bring people together. So that was the impetus and nucleus of what is GANGGANG. So I mean, our mission is to center beauty, equity, and culture in cities by activating creative economies. So I mean, we get to test things, we get to support artists, we get to tell cool stories, we get to think of what would we do to test equity in a certain aspect of like the art world. How can we maybe level out the playing field? How can we challenge this notion and dichotomy between value and worth? So I mean, so for us, being an artist, Melina has had her entire career in the art space and supporting artists and just wanting to do something to really amplify artists in a way that maybe hasn't been done before, but with a different intention and why behind it. And like mentioned, the no commission fair, but also just to present art in a fashion where we're wrapping around so much of the sector and just having just the visual art be the nucleus of. But we feel like we can create something special, and we did, and it's had some impact, and it's just amazing to see just the growth of Butter. But it's really a testament to the local artists that we have here in Indy, and just how we're able to kind of create this synergy and cross-section with the national talent as well.
Yeah. What have been some of the biggest milestones over the previous 4 Butter Fine Art Fairs that have been like big milestones for you all, and what can we expect for the one coming up?
Yeah, I mean, so having over $900,000 go back to artists' hands of households is a feat, and this level of impact that is probably going to be number one. I mean, because that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have a Butter to center the care and economic viability of Black visual artists. So seeing that needle move has been amazing, but seeing Butter move and spread has been amazing, and that's a definite milestone. But going from 3,000 people year one to over 12,000 people within 4 years. It's something else that allows us to really get a notion on not just how popular it is, but just how needed maybe the idea was at the time.
And so 4Xing attendance, like that's a lot of moving parts, moving pieces, and to provide, I mean, time in and time out, you talk to people that attend Butter, it is an experience.
For sure.
When you think about, I'm going to an art fair, it's like, you're looking at some pictures on the walls. Like that's not entirely right what you're getting when you show up at Butter. Talk to us about like what we can expect when you attend, when you're going to go be part of this, because it's a multi-day, like it's a whole thing.
It's a multi-day. It's a single ticket that gets you. I mean, you can experience Butter for 3 straight days. And I think just the beautiful aspect of Butter is just the people that are there. So it's one of those things that attracts, so much diversity within just like people and just demographics and ages and genders. So I think, just having that be familiar as it relates to Butter. So, that's a part of the ethos. But, the experience is everything from the most amazing, thought-provoking art that you will see from the most amazing and creative artists that you'll probably experience, like, very close and up and personal. They're there with their art. But we wrap around the festival with food. And, this year I think we'll have over 50 DJs that are playing over the weekend. So
50 DJs.
So you really get to experience, like, what is, like, art and culture in this dense place. We'll have Buddy Red, which is a national recording, rock artist, headlining this year. So we're just really excited about just the growth of what is this new iteration of art fairs.
And where's it going to be at?
At the historic Stutz, which is the entrance, the north east entrance of the historic Indiana Avenue district. So it's cool that we're able to put Butter there and also talk about just the history of art and culture in Indy. So there's a lot of people who don't know about Indiana Avenue and just all the greats and just our contributions to music worldwide. But yeah.
Did you see MGK?
So like we're setting up like Butter. So we're 2 weeks out from Butter, and we're just down there setting up, and just like within 5 minutes, there's like 300 people in line. It was like Butter starts in a couple weeks, guys, just a little early. No, but just to figure out that like he was here, just doing like a pop-up performance was
Do you know
cool.
how it like came together?
Have no idea.
I have no. I just saw it on TikTok, and I was like, "What the world?"
We were just there. Just on campus setting up, but it was kind of cool.
Did you get to like slide through and?
No, but he actually saw the pink building across the street, and was like, "Man, what's in that building? This like seems so cool." So he was like, super interested, and then we painted it pink last year. For Butter 4 as a way to kind of open up a new exhibition space.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to kind of see some of those iterations and influences kind of makes an impact.
When you think about that, right? It's like you bring MGK, who like he comes to the Stutz and he's at Turner's performing a show,
right?
And he sees your guys' pink building, and they're like, "Hey, there's something interesting going on there."
Right.
Like and he's been, hey, obviously he's from like Cleveland, but has been to LA and has been to all these places and seen a lot of stuff. So he's like, like. There's something artistic. There's something going on there. And that's just a piece of, as we continue to push the needle forward for arts, culture, you talk about equity in the city of Indianapolis, like the work that you're doing with both GANGGANG and with, Butter Fine Art Fair, it's important. Can you talk to us about when it comes to arts and culture, like Hoosiers need to one, be involved, but also to support, attend, like get out there and do that. Like, what is how do art fairs drive culture forward in a city?
Art drives culture in the world, So I think everything that we experience, from a daily, there's food, there's fashion, there's some type of visual art or beauty, there's music and sound. So art is around us all the time. It's what feeds culture, right? So I think this is enabling us to really bring out the best of all of what that is, and just kind of really dump it in a very dense place. So I think there's a lot of beauty, equity, culture, learnings, and all the things just like within just this environment of like what is art. But being able to really leverage it and see it and just like look at art from the perspective of not being decorative. But it's a basic need. People need art on a daily just to survive, just to have a quality of life, and having a pathway to create that at scale, and also to invest in these artists, which are entrepreneurs. They're small businesses. It's an ecosystem that's developing and growing that is kind of cool to be a part of.
One thing nationally, I don't know if Indianapolis is known across the world as a hub for arts and culture.
We are now.
We're probably known as like a hub for pork tenderloin sandwiches and racing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That doesn't mean just because maybe the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is like the thing that people across the world think about when they think of Indiana, doesn't mean that there's not arts and culture here.
Right.
And what you guys you've done a really good job of curating and bringing a lot of those local artists into this space that you can like elevate some of those voices. Talk to us about our Indianapolis arts and culture scene, and talk about how maybe over the last 5 years, Butter and some of the different artists have helped change the perspective of the Hoosier State.
Well, I can maybe talk about this the last 5 years, more specific, large scale opportunities in recent history of this intersection of really like art, culture, and sports was, March Madness. When that, descended upon Indianapolis, and we were creative directors then. I mean, GANGGANG was a new organization, but, having the buy-in from the city and just allowing, this newly cultural development firm to be the creative directors of this thing.
So a cultural development firm?
Creative advocacy agency, cultural development firm. I mean, it's the work that centers beauty, equity, and culture. And I think, but for us having that opportunity, so we curated over 260 like live performances that happened within that 4-week period. So it was a great like test point of kind of like what this work can do. Just breaking the barrel for all the crabs, right? So I'm just like, how do we look at this and leverage this, for the greater narrative of the city? Which, I mean, to your point, we're so much more than the racing capital of the world. I mean, we were also known for art and culture back, during the Indiana Avenue days in the 40s and 50s. So there was a great, density of what is, culture and art there. So I think, this just allows us to revitalize that spirit in a way and just kind of remind ourselves and, just the world of like, who we are, which is much more layered than, a great, amazing sport.
Were you like born and raised in Indiana?
Yeah. I was actually like born in Bloomington. Parents were at IU at the time, but, raised, and all the memories are here in Indy. Yeah.
Did you grow up in Indy?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What high school?
I went to Northwest High School for a couple of years, and I graduated from Pike High School.
You say Northwest? That's the Space Pioneers?
The Space Pioneers. Yeah, I don't know where the space came from, but yeah, we were.
They're out there. Come on. Growing up in Indiana, did you feel like you had to like travel to go find like stuff that you talked about how important art was. You said it's like a daily, like this is part of life. Like you need art. Did you feel like it was here in Indiana, or did you feel like you had to go and travel and go explore other places?
I'm an artist by trade, so just being a musician and just having a rich family history of music and art, just like embedded in the city. So one of my great uncle, his name is Trevor Bacon, was one of the greats that played on Indiana Avenue. Played with the Lucky Milliner Band, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who we know is the godmother of rock and roll music. Pops. Gig with After 7 and some other cats coming up. So art has always been a mainstay aspect of life for me, and it's very accessible in the city. We have, and state, we have, a very rich history. There's a point in time probably in the mid 90s where we had Michael Jackson, Babyface, John Mellencamp, Janet Jackson. We probably wrote like 60% of all the music that was happening within like a 10-year period. If you think about like what was hot during that time. So I think, art has never been far, from our city, from our people. It's just, now we just have this microphone that we've created now that we're able to kind of get that voice out.
Hey everyone, quick pause in the action to introduce you to Flutterman Von Reest, a true hidden gem in Indiana, especially for all you watch aficionados out there. Founded by an Indiana State graduate from Batesville, this family-owned brand has deep Hoosier roots dating back to the 1830s. They are even proud members of the Society of Indiana Pioneers, which I didn't know existed but is a sweet organization. They are based in Indy and are redefining luxury watches. Meticulously crafted in Kokomo by a certified watchmaker and his apprentice, the designs blend classic elegance with a modern twist. Don't miss their Chase Briscoe Race Day VIP Experience giveaway, an incredible opportunity for race fans. Chase is an awesome NASCAR driver from Mitchell, Indiana. You're going to be learning more about him soon. Follow Flutterman Von Reest to explore their stunning collections and join their journey to greatness. This is kind of my art form, right? It's like I host conversations and talk and learn about this. I would not say like I can go out and like I can't paint, can't draw. Like I'm not like a traditional artist. One thing that I know, I just had a conversation with some folks at the Harrison Center, and they talked about the Heron High School is not necessarily creating the next generation of artists, but they're creating a generation of art patrons. Like people that just like maybe they're not creators, but they can respect and understand art. Yeah. What can we do as Hoosiers to be better art patrons?
So it's going to a show, going to a movie, buying a piece of art, like going to a local restaurant, hiring a graphic, designer or artist, seeing amazing like DJ performance, like supporting organizations like Decademics, which is a DJ school that we have here
Dude,
in the city.
I'm about to go over to take some classes there because I want to learn how to do a set.
Straight up, man. So we have all these gyms in the city and just all these opportunities to tap in. So it's just like, you just don't forget that, everyone's an art patron. You know what I mean? Everyone has clothes on. Everybody got to eat something every single day. Everybody appreciates something that they hear or something that they see. It's just, understanding that on the other side of that experience, there's an actual person that's making that thing or saying those words or writing that song, and just how we should continue just to, support and pour into that sector. Yeah.
So you said obviously you're a musician. What do you play? Do you sing? Like what's your
guitar and piano was maybe the last couple that I was gigging with, but gig with a group called Chamber Music for a minute, and not so much now. But yeah, so it's music has always been close and just
Do you remember that moment, some point in your life that it was like you made the decision to have a career that's based around art and culture and equity here in Indiana?
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment where art made the biggest impact in your life?
That wasn't really until like 2020. I mean, art has just always been a part of my life, so it's hard to kind of separate the two. But I think just from a career standpoint, it was everything that was 2020 that really sparked the idea to move forward, and also having a partner like Melina, who was thinks the same way and receiving the same downloads.
Because I mean, you were in like IT and staff, like you were in tech, you were in workforce development. Those are not. I would not say workforce development is like a very art enriching career.
No, it was all beautiful things, but it's very very far from what is this creative environment. Yeah.
Well, talk us through what we can expect when you show up. Like, I show up at the Stutz, Labor Day weekend, and I'm ready to learn, experience, eat. I'm ready to do all things. Like, take me through like what we can expect at Butter.
I think it's all of that, man. I mean, you're gonna smell something amazing. You're going to want to experience just the culinary offerings that we had this year.
Are there a few of those that like really stick out to you?
We have an amazing partnership with CRG Cunningham Restaurant that we're really excited about, but also lifting up some local chefs and entrepreneurs.
Is Colin going to be out? Do you know Colin, he won World Food Championship. He's one of the CRG chefs.
I hope he's on the roster. I think they're getting their entire like chef networking team to get behind what this thing is, man. So we're excited to to work with him and Mike, Cunningham on what that experience is, but just also being able to lift up other like local entrepreneurs and foodpreneurs and it's all the things. So you're expecting that, and as you enter Butter as well, and then there's all the music. There's over 50 DJs. There's 10 live acts. There's a headliner, and then
is there like a grand like a DJ? Let's say you were hosting like the most lit, crazy, cool event here in Indiana. Who is like the pinnacle Indiana DJ?
We have probably dopest group and set of DJs that I would challenge any city.
Really?
Yeah, for sure, man. So like we have a very rich DJ culture here that we've always highlighted at Butter since like Butter One. We always kind of pay homage and to that art form. But
that's awesome.
And you'll see a lot of beautiful things from the art installations and the stuff around the environment and the campus, but the art itself, just within the exhibition halls. I mean, that's always the jaw dropper. That's always the most talked about thing with Butter. But the feeling and the emotion that you get being around so much art and culture, but also just it's a very familiar tone. Because
what are over the past 4 fairs? What have been like some of the most talked about pieces or activations or exhibits that you guys have seen at Butter?
This year, what we're introducing for the 5th anniversary of Butter, which is a huge year for us, like the first ever Best in Show award. So we have the Allen Mills Best of Show presented by Everwise, a credit union that will be able to present that question out into a much more formal way, as far as like what was like the piece that was like most amazing to show. But
what's so interesting about that with art is like it's all about like who can create something that makes people feel a certain way the most. Like it's one thing like to, talk about sports, right? Like when we're going to get into that for a little bit here about like your guys' impact through NBA All-Star and like kind of some of these cool things. But like you talk about, like I've seen some pieces and different activations from Butter in the past, and it's like, wow, you create this thing and you're going to bring 12,000 people through here, you're going to make each of those 12,000 people feel something.
Right, for sure.
Might be over ecstatic, joy, or just reflection. Or
reflection. Like, I mean, you catch so many people in the deepest of thoughts. I mean, you see so many tears, like emotional tears from whether that's crying or laughing. I mean, you get to experience, and that's a full day. Like when you're like being moved like emotionally, like when you're seeing something beautiful, when you're able to like experience something, so much density of art and culture. I mean, that is experience that really is unique within itself.
I think that's super cool. Let's talk a little bit about what the impact that you played in NBA All-Star. So I've been in Indy since 2019.
Yeah.
I'm from a small town in northern Indiana.
Right on.
And when I think about, okay, obviously COVID happens, things shut down a little bit, right? We started to come back. I feel for me, NBA All-Star was the first time that Indy felt like a Hollywood type of place, right? Where like, oh man, the stars are out and there's like people taking over these other, and like doing activations and Nike and all these pop-ups. And I mean, arts and culture and being on that council are super important. And that's a large part of like, it's not just the the NBA All-Star basketball game. Like there's all the extra stuff that goes with it. Talk to us about the role that you all played in that, and like Everwise presenting this Best in Show award this year. Talk about the way that corporate partners come together in Indiana to help put these cool events on.
Indianapolis is the best at creating this aggregate of public, private, philanthropic partners together to do a big thing. And I think for us, we were fortunate enough to be asked to join the host committee and lead the art and culture component, where we wanted to make sure that Indianapolis had a good show. We wanted to be able to welcome people in a way that that really honored art and culture, that felt authentic, that also feels like us. So we were able to get partners like Treese and Cargo Streetwear and Napper Nothing and Howlin' Hyde involved, and just all these different types of brands and makers and musicians and artists, and just really present to the world. I mean, really at this point, and to that national audience, like who Indianapolis is, even under the undercurrents of what is this sports mecca, crazy successful proof of concept that we have been building over time. But I mean, especially within like the last 3 or 4 years, and we've created this modality where we can actually do something like that. And then here next year, here's WNBA All-Star, and like, we're able to kind of just create that same sense of magic with that intersection. And
was there a specific piece from either of those, the NBA All-Star game or the WNBA All-Star game, whether it was a pop-up or an activation or an art installation or anything that just was like, I can't believe this is happening in Indiana right now?
The WNBA and just like the time of year that happened, I think it was just like a perfect aspect of just weather and just feeling and emotion and just that pinnacle of a way. So that was I think a really, really good moment for the city. I mean, it's cool to see like a first big win, like March Madness or or Super Bowl, if we think about that from time ago. But recent history, there's March Madness and there's NBA All Star, then there's and just to do all of them well.
Yeah.
It's like it's hitting a three-peat, man. So it's and that's hard. It's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? So and just also just the Big Ten, and shout out to Sports Corps and all you talked about just the different partners that it takes to for these things to happen. I mean, Pacers Sports Entertainment, Sports Corps. I mean, just we have just those pillar organizations that knows what it takes to do certain things and knows who to bring to the table to make sure that we can execute.
That is one thing. I've talked to a decent chunk of people from around different, whether it's IMS or Lucas Oil or Cambridge or wherever, and they're like, it is very collaborative. Yeah. Like all of these partners work together versus like in other cities, it's not necessarily, because it's like my Colts, they're thinking it's Colts first Pacers versus like it's all of us together. Come on. I did have that moment where I was like, I can't believe this is in Indiana. It was after WNBA All-Star. I went to the Gamebridge after party at Nevermore Bar. They had that thing over.
Yes.
Dude,
Crazy.
Carly Pierce played a set. Diplo is playing till 3 a.m. And I'm like, from me to you to Diplo. Just like, and he's just like going hard.
That's
and
crazy,
I'm like,
man.
what is going on right now? This is wild.
Yeah, it's like, man, like you couldn't even sneak into that many places over that weekend. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. For sure.
And they're like, what is it? Angel Reese tweets like, Indy's like Miami right now or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I was like, that's so sick.
Right. Shout out to Naptown.
Yeah, it does seem like, you talk about hitting that three-peat when it comes to like sports and arts and culture and all the stuff there. We have a couple fun Indiana questions that we're going to round out the show with. Before we get there, I do want to say, like, there are people that might not, like, it's like they're young. I feel like my art appreciation has increased, especially like I've been a full-time creator now for a year and a half or so. So I've like found out like people, it's not just a video or it's not just a painting. It's not just a there are people putting a lot of emotion and time into these things. But it's taken me, 26, 27 years to find that appreciation.
Right. Yeah.
For people that may not have found that yet,
right.
Like, can you talk through how we should be thinking about arts and culture and relative to our city? And how maybe their perspectives. Obviously, you're not going to like change everyone's perspective right here on a podcast. Yeah. But just like ways that we could be thinking about embracing and elevating our local artists.
These are individuals that are contributors to society at a very high scale and mark that most times do not get their worth or just due. I mean, so I think there's this aspect of how can we support sectors. A starving artist on an entire sector is crazy as a moniker or a mantra. It's they don't say that in advanced manufacturing or in the food space or agriculture, IT or AI, just everything. So,
there's no starving consultants out there.
Like what's going on, man? So I think help us change that narrative. Help us help people to understand that these are entrepreneurs. They're small businesses and that they pay taxes and they have families that they support and they're contributors to just the elements of society that doesn't get as much of a shine or visibility, right? So I think it's that undercurrent of us, just being good humans at the end of the day and just really understanding like how can we uplift each other in the most authentic ways. And I think supporting the artists is a good pathway to do so.
As we kind of wrap up, we have some fun art in Indiana questions.
Let's do it. I'm gonna knock them out.
There we go. What's your favorite piece of art up across the city of Indianapolis?
The Keepers of Culture mural at 11th and Senate on the north side of the Stutz building, which is a beautiful piece. Indianapolis's, or maybe the state's first 3D mural that was created by Ashley Nora.
The Keepers of Culture. That's sweet. Yeah. You said 11th and Senate?
Yeah. At the north side facing of the Stutz building. First mural for Butter One.
As we keep going through there, who are some of the up and coming artists that people need to keep their eye on that are doing really impactful things for our city?
There's a lot of artists that are featured in Butter each and every year that really. I think that people should get to know a little bit more.
You do a really good job of not picking any favorites and spreading the love to everyone.
You literally try to get me in trouble, man. Like there's at least three questions. I was like, if I say
well,
no,
I'll random beholder.
And we do have such amazing artists and chefs. I mean, you mentioned Beholder and Milk Tooth. Shout out Jonathan But from a visual arts standpoint, it's Gary G, and there's Fitch, and there's Ashley Nora, there's Deanna Craig, there's so many individuals that Butters is a good opportunity to see it all. In one space, you see the hardest, the dopest DJs that Indiana has to offer, some of the most amazing chefs and visual artists as well, of course, and live performances. So I think just buy a ticket to Butter. I think we'll get a lot of answers.
Here's my pitch. Here we go. I'll go to Decademics. I'm going to take a year's worth of classes.
Please, yes.
And then you can give me the worst stage, like the 3:30 in the afternoon stage that no one goes to.
Nate, if you go to Decademics and take some classes, we'll put you on the roster.
There we go. Come on now.
1 year, 365.
Yeah, 360. Well, I got 2 weeks, so a little bit over 365, maybe 380.
You trying to pick the leap year?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Is there a favorite? You think about all the places. So obviously, Butter is 3 days.
Yeah.
Labor Day weekend. Can you talk time, logistics, things like that at the Stutz?
Yeah. So it's a 3-day art fair. It starts the 28th, which I think, or 29th, which is the Friday, and runs through the 31st, which is the Sunday. So it's one ticket. It's $50. You experience.
It's only $50.
It's a $50 ticket, and that is only for adults. So butter is free for 18 and younger. We really like to honor just our next generation and allow them to experience art, fine art, this density of art for free. So that's something that we work to make sure that can happen every year. But $50 ticket, you get to experience butter 3 straight days. We have VIP packages. We have the dinner with the Cunningham Restaurant Group available this year, and just a lot of good nuggets to experience.
Man, that's every day 11 to 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Go down there. $50 is. I thought it would be way more expensive than that, and I'm not even just saying that. That's my honest response there. Some awesome DJs rolling, 10th Street DJs. That's sweet. You have there's literally so many. One of my favorite names. Just like DJ names, metronome. It's like so sick because it's not like metronome like the ding ding ding. It's GNOME. I love it. Dude.
Shout out to Nick Salago, DJ Metronome, and also the owner operator of Decademics. So
wait, is he really?
Yeah, that'll be your your instructor.
How did I pick that one out? Let's go. All right, we're gonna talk DJ Metronome. What's it, Nick?
Nick, yeah.
All right, Nick, let's make it happen. So when Butter's not going on, there's a lot of interesting places to go and observe art, or talking about new fields and museums and this, that, and the other thing. Are there places outside of Labor Day weekend that people could go, and where are your favorite place to explore art when it's not Butter Fine Art Fair?
I think you maybe mentioned the Harrison Center like earlier. There's so many different spots that you can go. First Fridays is a good opportunity to go see some amazing art, whether that's at the CCC, the Coca-Cola Complex, in the Harrison Center. I mean, the Arts Council has things that are going on, but there's also just organizations and mainstays like, Indiana Black Expo and Circle City Classic. There's all these types of things that has this density of culture and artistic expression that, you can find me there.
Yeah. If you could pick up one event from around the world.
Yes.
And move it to Indianapolis, what would that event be?
I would have probably said something like Coachella,
That'd be
but before I Made Rock and Roll though. So that's the new iteration of kind of what that is for me.
Yeah, I Made Rock and Roll. Talk to us about, as we wrap up, that's another, an awesome activation, an awesome festival that you do in partnership with our friends at 45. And Jenny, she's a previous guest. Go back and listen to that episode. If you want to support local music, what's going on with I Made Rock and Roll?
Yeah, we are in the throes of always planning. This I Made Rock and Roll doesn't stop. I mean, it's a campaign to celebrate and talk about just the curators of the genre of music. So, we are having a I Made Rock and Roll presence this year at Butter, and, we'll have some exciting news to share about I Made Rock and Roll here soon. But yeah, shout out to our partners at 45, good friends over there.
Final 3 questions we ask every guest that comes on the show, all about the state of Indiana. Alan, you have been lots of different places, all across the country and across the world. First thing, what's something that the world needs to know about Indiana?
Indiana is much more than a dense place for amazing sports activation and experiences. We are a art and culture hub, and have some of the coolest innovation and art coming out of the city.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. This is your chance. You have to pick a thing.
Okay, I got you.
You have to pick a thing.
I'm not backing up.
But you get to shed some light on something that more people across the state need to know about. What is a hidden gem in Indiana?
Just Indiana Avenue and just that history and just that heritage.
Indianapolis is the second most monuments to Washington, D.C.
Right on.
We are good at honoring that heritage. I feel like that's a pretty cool fact.
Yeah, monuments for sure, but also and just the what is and just our history and music.
If there were a few famous historical Hoosiers that people that really help shape arts and culture, are there ones that people need to go research and learn about?
Yeah. I mean, all the greats on Indiana Avenue: Trevor Bacon, Freddie Hubbard, Wes Montgomery. But of course there's Michael, Janet, John Mellencamp.
I think I need to do a full deep dive on Indiana Avenue.
Oh my God, yeah.
I know Samson does a whole walk and talk on that.
Shout out to Samson and Walk and Talk. He is our historian in all the ways and helping to produce, promote, and preserve culture. But yeah, Indiana Avenue. There's so much richness in our history. In art and culture and music, and just fortunately enough for us, we get to honor in a very unique way now.
Final question.
Yeah.
This is where we find new guests or people that we need to know about here in Indiana. Yeah. Who's a Hoosier that we need to keep on our radar? Someone who's doing big things.
Juwan Nelson is a local director, videographer, producer, filmmaker. that has been making some waves. Just nationally, just with his film projects, just one of the March Madness. He was a videographer there, but I mean, you're going to see that name in a lot of places as it relates to film. He already is, but even more. So Juwan Nelson, be on the lookout.
That's awesome, man. Alan, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing a little bit about but this is Butter 5.
Butter 5.
Coming
B5.
up August 28th through the 31st at the Stutz.
Yes.
Starts at 11 a.m.
Get your tickets.
Runs until 10.
That's it.
$50 tickets. That's good all weekend.
All weekend. You can come as many times as you want.
Holy smokes. I mean, that's a full, everything you need for Labor Day weekend. Appreciate it. If people want to connect with you, if they want to learn more about butter, if they want to do any of that, where can they do that at?
Yeah. So ganggangculture.com, butterartfair.com. So just look us up. We're on IG, very heavy. I mean, especially right now if you're on social media. But would love to have you grab your tickets and look forward to seeing everybody Labor Day weekend.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Alan.
Right on. Thanks, brother.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Get In. If you like what you heard, make sure you leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is made possible by our friends up at Sweetwater. Whether you're looking to start a podcast or take your content to the next level, click the link in the description to see all of my gear recommendations at sweetwater.com. If you want a behind-the-scenes look at everything we're doing across the state, make sure you follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nate Spangle. Thank you so much for listening and being part of what makes the Hoosier State great. We'll see you next time here on Get In.